So last week we talked about the rise and the fall of the USSR, and before moving to another topic, I was like, I have a few facts, crazy facts actually about the USSR that I found, and I was thinking, let me just make a video about that. So I'll just talk about a few of them, four actually. So one of the first crazy fact that I found about the USSR is the fact that the Soviet Union population loved Bollywood. Can you believe that? They actually loved Bollywood movies. And because it was a way for them to escape. The fact that it's so vibrant, there's so much music, and most of the words are actually sung. Bollywood is more about music and dancing than anything else. And they loved it because they could escape, and also the fact that at the time, Bollywood was mostly about the Indian trying to escape British rule. They were trying to get their independence from the British ruler. So the audience felt connected to that desire of freedom, of liberation from a higher power. One of the big Bollywood stars at the time, Raj Kapoor, was super popular. It was actually as popular in the Soviet Union than it was in his homeland. This is just so random as a fact, but I felt like it's something so unexpected from the USSR and from everything that you usually read and hear about the USSR that I was like, I definitely need to talk about this. The second fact is about a moment in history that most people have heard about, which is the Chernobyl disaster. The Chernobyl disaster was actually first acknowledged by Sweden, not the Soviet Union. Even though it happened in the Soviet Union actually didn't even talk about it, didn't even acknowledge the fact that there was something going on. Sweden had a radiation alarm, and that alarm was triggered by the Chernobyl incident. After the alarm going off, they actually reached out to the Soviet Union, who still denied the incident until Sweden actually had to threaten them that they were going to file an official alert. They had the opportunity to file an alert with the International Atomic Energy Authority. So they had to go as far as threaten the Soviet Union to do it for them to confirm that the Chernobyl disaster actually happened. Can you believe that? It could have gone like that for like a really long time, and they wouldn't even acknowledge that something was going on if it wasn't for Sweden alarm being triggered and for them being really reactive and actually pushing the Soviet Union to do something. This is unbelievable. The third fact that I found is the fact that Lenin, who is the Soviet Union's founding leader, Lenin's remains are actually embalmed. They are embalmed and they are on display in a mausoleum. The remains of Lenin are actually on display in the Red Square. Another really crazy fact about the story is like his brain is actually in the Moscow Brain Institute. They actually removed his brain from his body because scientists wanted to study it. They felt like studying the brain of their founding leader would reveal some type of genius or would prove that it was some type of genius, and they decided that it was worth taking a look at. Well, apparently it didn't really reveal anything, just that it had a standard brain, but I thought it was just really interesting to know that his brain was actually was actually studied and is being preserved. Lenin is actually not the only one whose remains are being preserved and were studied. Stalin was also studied. There's also a few Soviet personalities remain, such as a poet named Vladimir Mayakovsky and a filmmaker Sergei Eisenstein. Their remains are also being preserved and were studied. The fourth and last fact about the USSR is about the space race. As you know, the USSR was leading the space race during the Cold War against the United States. Under Nikita Khrushchev, they took the lead and they sent their first satellites in space and also their first human space flight. But one thing that I've found out is before they actually sent the first space flight, they sent a dog. They felt like before sending an actual human being, They needed to make sure that they could test the effect of the atmospheric pressure, and that the best way to do that was to use an animal. So they decided to use a dog. The name of the dog is Laika. And Laika was a street dog. They actually found him in the street. They believed that a stray dog would be more resilient than a domesticated pet. So they decided to use Laika to test his resistance to the pressure. Unfortunately, Laika died, but he became a celebrity, well known in the USSR, and he definitely helped understand the process way better. So actually, the first being to go into space wasn't a human, but it was a dog, and his name was Laika. I also have a bonus fact. I told you at the beginning that I only had 4, but I've actually found many. I picked those 4, but I felt like I had to add that bonus one. Just hear this story. During World War II, the German forces tried to invade the USSR. One of the biggest battles of World War II was the Battle of Leningrad. Because of the Battle of Leningrad, a famine was triggered. People were not able to run away. People were not able to get to food, to hide. The situation was extremely difficult, and a lot of people couldn't find any food. People were dying trying to find food. In the midst of this chaos, there was a team of botanists who were cultivating a large collection of different type of seed. It was basically one of the largest collection of seed in the country. And they truly believed that those seeds were the future of the Soviet Union. And they decided to protect them at all costs. They went as far as locking themselves with the seeds, not eating them, not using them to make food or even share with anybody, even with themselves. Actually, 632,000 people died of extreme hunger. People went as far as eating their own pets. It seems like there were even some occurrence of cannibalism. And even in the midst of all that, those botanists starved to death, truly believing that those seeds were the future of the Soviet Union. I mean, clearly, I had to add that part because this was just an unbelievable story. So those are the 4 plus 1 bonus fact that I found out about the USSR. If you are interested about talking or learning more about them, do not hesitate to leave any comment. We'll be back next week with something completely different. See you next time. Bye.